you're looking to dive into topics on how to live a happier, healthier, more fit, and long lifespan, then you've come to the right podcast. Livin the Dream with me, Coach Damian Evans. Together, we will explore the topics on all things health, fitness, and wellness. Together, we will be lifelong learners on this journey to living the ultimate dream. What up, Dream Team? Coach D here, coming at you with a bite-sized brain snack. These episodes were inspired because of our obsession with snacks. We love to fuel our bodies with those little bite-sized nutritious foods, and we've also talked about adding movement snacks into your day the same way. So we have food and we have movement covered, but what about our brains? It's time to add some little bite-sized brain snacks into our week, and that's what these episodes will be all about. Bite-sized wellness wisdom for lifelong learners. So let's open up and satiate our minds. This brain snack is all about helping us avoid some common diet and training mistakes when it comes to chasing our goals. Picture this: you're at the gym, you're ready to crush your fitness goals and transform yourself into a lean, mean muscle machine. You've got your playlist queued up, your protein shake is on standby, but are you making the most of your efforts? Well, hold on to your dumbbells, because today we're going to expose some of the most common pitfalls that might be sabotaging your journey to fitness success. It's all too common, feeling like we're stuck on a treadmill of mediocrity, not seeing the results that we crave, and wondering what the heck is going wrong. Whether you're a seasoned gym-goer or just starting your health and fitness adventure, this episode is for you. We're going to uncover the secrets of transforming your body and achieving those dreamy goals, step by step. So if you've ever wondered why your workouts feel like they're never ending on a hamster wheel, if you've questioned whether you're giving it your all, or if you've been guilty of thinking that six-pack abs are solely built in the gym, this is your wake-up call. It's time to get real, get motivated, and most importantly, get results. I'm guessing that you're probably doing one or more of the following things that we're about to talk about if you're quote-unquote working out but don't actually look like you work out. And if you listen all the way to the end and you hear all the things that we're about to talk about and you're still saying, but I'm doing all of those things, well then you're either A, not telling yourself the full truth, or B, have only been doing all of these things for just a few weeks and you need more time. Because the truth behind every single great body is that it takes patience and it takes hard work. Doing the simple stuff consistently over the long haul. I promise it's not complicated. It's just not always easy. All right, here's your red flag checklist. Avoid doing these things. Number 1, your workouts have no form of progressive overload. Your workouts have no form of progressive overload. If you can't remember how much you lifted last week or what exercises you did, then you're not following a program properly and are definitely not tracking your progress, which means you're probably not going to make any. Results happen from following a program that repeats exercises week after week so that you can strategically plan and achieve progressive overload consistently over time. This is a principle of training that is required for results. This is where most group fitness classes and group fitness programs fall a little short. They pride themselves in mixing up things so often that some of them say, "You will never see the same workout twice," and they brag about it. They do this because that's what people are buying. That's what the people buying their product think that they want. So they are supplying what is being demanded. It's not on them. It's not on the group fitness program. It's on the consumer. It's on the consumer to educate themselves how to properly, progressively overload, or at least listen to the trainers that are trying to educate them. Listen to the trainers when they talk about the why you are seeing the same exercise multiple weeks in a row. And this is why I really love the programming at our new gym, Sweat Circuit, because we have a program for 3-week phases. We do this program for 3-week phases where you work on the same big lifts for 3 weeks in a row. While yes, we do change up some of the accessory moves on the smaller muscle groups just to keep things a little fresh for the people that think that they need a ton of variety. Almost all exercises, in my opinion here, in almost all exercises, they should be treated like a skill that you're trying to perfect. It takes time for your nervous system and your muscular system to coordinate this smooth quality movement like a squat, a push-up, a lunge, a press, or a row. It's important that you practice the skill to a point where it's ingrained as an almost automatic movement pattern so that you can then slowly add intensity to it. Usually you can do this in the form of using heavier weights or controlling it with a different speed or whatever the case may be. There's tons of ways that you can progress and intensify a movement. But that takes time. That's why when you do an exercise once and then not again for another 3 weeks later, you are constantly trying to relearn the skill of the movement rather than learning how to feel the exercise and then progressing it from there, perfecting the skill and progressing the intensity. That is where you will find the best results with your training. Don't be fooled by all the sexy, crazy Instagram exercises out there that you find on your social media feed. There are some big moves that you should just always have in your exercise routine. I do the same exercises every single year, year after year for the past 20 years. I always make sure I have a squat, a lunge, an upper body horizontal press like a chest press or a push-up, an upper body vertical press like an overhead press, and then some form of rotation like a chop or a cable or a torso rotation, whatever the case may be, something that helps me rotate my body. Make sure that you are progressively overloading your exercises to see long-term results. So number one, your workouts have no form of progressive overload. Number two, you just don't train hard enough. Ooh, you just don't train hard enough. Nobody wants to hear this, but it's true. Most people simply don't train hard enough, and one of the biggest keys to results in the gym is your overall effort, which can be only gauged by knowing your true proximity to failure, i.e., how close you get to the total failure on a set. And it's really challenging to get close enough to failure without reaching complete failure and without hurting yourself. But learning this skill will dramatically change the results that you see from your training. Most people that I see when it comes to group fitness classes or my personal training clients that I first start with, they grab the same weights day after day, month after month, year after year, because, hey, they're at the gym and they're moving, right? And that's what they feel comfortable with. Wrong. At that point, you're just sending a signal that you're moving your muscles. At that point, you're not sending a signal, a stimulus for change or growth. You're essentially doing cardiovascular training, or at best, muscular maintenance with weights. You must train hard. You must do something you haven't done to get to where you haven't been. In order to change the muscles, you must challenge the muscles. And how do you know if you're doing this correctly? Well, at the end of every one of your sets, you know you chose the right weight selection. If you're trying to move that weight faster, if you're trying with all of your effort to move that weight faster, and that weight just doesn't move faster, it's slowly creeping up, you have to grind to get those last few reps. I used to say, if you're not making a funny face at the end of your last sets, then it probably wasn't quite enough weight to challenge and change the muscle. Yes, there is a line where you have to be careful not to break your form too much to avoid injury. But in my opinion, if your last rep of your last set, that definitely should not be picture perfect. And it for sure should not look the same exact way as your very first rep of your first set. So challenge to change, get uncomfortable for growth. Number two, you just don't train hard enough. Number three, your workouts aren't specific to your actual goal. Your workouts aren't specific to your actual goal. If you want bigger glutes, if you want to be better at a specific movement, or if you want to only strengthen a specific part of your body, but then you're doing group fitness classes where things are programmed for a big, wide range of people, then it will for sure take you longer to accomplish your goal. It's not going to be impossible, but it will take you longer to accomplish your specific goal because specific results requires specific workouts. For example, tailored programming to you. This is where working with a personal trainer or a coach one-on-one has its advantages over group training. Yes, it requires a larger financial investment, possibly a larger time investment, but yes, you will in almost all circumstances get there quicker and more efficiently than by doing programming that is tailored for a large group of people. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm just ragging on group fitness classes here, because I'm definitely not. I have been a personal trainer and training people one-on-one since I was 19 years old, but I have also been teaching and instructing group fitness classes for just as long and been doing it actually more than personal training. I've seen the benefits of both, and I have seen and experienced the incredible benefits of group fitness. But just like if I was going to study and learn the language Spanish, I wouldn't go on to Rosetta Stone and hit shuffle on all the languages if that was my goal. What I'm saying is that your specific workout should have an exercise selection, which exercises that you choose, and then a specific volume amount, how many sets, reps, how long you should rest, and an intensity range, how hard you should push, how high you should get your heart rate. You should have all of those things that are specific to you and your goals if you want the most effective workout for you. And this is where working with a professional can get you there the fastest, or just know that if you're doing group fitness classes, you can totally get there too. It's just going to take you longer for that specific goal to hit. But you could also become more well-rounded in the process if you do it that way. So there's no really wrong answer here. There's just how much time, energy, finances do you want to invest, and how long do you want it to take, and all that good stuff. So number 3, your workouts aren't specific to your actual goal. Common training mistake number 4 has to do with your diet. Your diet doesn't support your training or your goals. Not to throw any shade at any specific diet, but for example, if you wanted to change the way that your body looks and you heard that going low carb will help you lose weight, well, a low carb paleo diet is very unlikely to produce notable body composition changes. Unless your only goal is to just drop your overall weight on the scale, yes, it could do that. However, if that is your goal, there could be issues with that long term, like losing muscle, decreasing your metabolic burn rate, for example, slowing your metabolism, and putting you in a hole that might be really hard to climb out of in the future. Or this could start you off on one of those yo-yo weight gains for the rest of your life. But let's say that your goal is fat loss or muscle growth or both. What some people call body recomposition would be fat loss and muscle growth at the same time. Then you may actually need more carbs for your training and less fat to fuel whatever training yours looks like. And this is in order for you to get leaner. But this is all going to be dependent on the person and what their training is going to look like. Also, what their daily movement currently is and what their lifestyle looks like. It has to do with what their food preferences are and literally a load of other factors. It's so individualized. But the key point here is that you very rarely should just be following a generic fad diet just because your favorite celebrity did it and lost weight, or that social media influencer that you saw on Instagram that makes their meal plans sound so incredible that you have to do it, and they package it up all shiny and nice and aesthetically for you. What will give you the best shot at success is you should be individualizing your food intake to support your specific training style and your specific goals that you have. The best way that I have found to do this is to work with clients in a not so sexy way. It's not easy. It's not super fun. For most people, it's not super fun, and it takes a lot of time. How about that for a sales pitch? Come do my diet. You will have the body of your dreams. It's tough, it's boring, and it will take a lot of time and effort. Only $4.99 a month. No, but for real, if you've been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, you have probably heard me say it before. The best way that I know how is you can either gather awareness of where your current intake is and your current expenditure is through tracking and gathering data, or you could just pull some huge levers in your life that will help you get there, or you could do both. So if you are into tracking, if you're willing to do a little bit of tracking, track your protein intake. Eat at least 25 to 35 grams of protein every meal and shoot for 1 gram per pound of desired body weight in protein every day. So if you want to weigh 150 pounds, aim for 150 grams of protein a day. Try to get your protein through whole natural foods first, and then you can supplement through whey or casein protein if necessary. Track your current calorie intake if you can to get a general idea, and weigh yourself to find where your maintenance is. Do this without changing your diet, just to gather awareness. Then once you find a number that gets you to where you're maintaining your weight and you know how many calories that takes, and you do that for a few weeks at a time, then you can either start chipping away at dropping some calories, a couple hundred calories at a time per week, or you could do it by increasing your daily movement through walking and steps, or a little bit of a combination of both. And then track your added sugar and find ways to minimize it. Really, all added sugar can be removed from your diet and you would be totally fine. And you should be finding a way of eating that you can do for the rest of your life. So if that's not going to be the case for you, then just go ahead and try to minimize your added sugar as much as you can. Not just this short amount of time while you're dieting, but what you can do for the rest of your life. If you're not about the tracking life, you don't have to track. It just helps at first so that you can gather awareness. Some big levers that you can pull would be dialing in all of the pillars of health that we talk about. Your exercise, your stress management, your sleep. For exercise, consistency is going to be the goal, not intensity. Find something that you can do every single day that you look forward to, even if it's just for 30 minutes a day. Avoiding long periods of sedentary behavior is also so important. In my opinion, you should not be still for more than 90 minutes at a time, unless you're meditating or sleeping or resting and recovering or whatever the case may be. But if you're working behind a screen, sitting in front of a TV or computer or whatever the case may be, you have to break up that time with movement. Movement is life. Motion is lotion. Fitness is medicine. Move your body, move those muscles. Sleep, work on your sleep routine. Dial down a sleep routine that you can do every single night so it puts your brain in that state of awareness of that this is going to happen. Work on your sleep sanctuary, something that is optimal for sleep. We've talked about this on other podcasts. Work on getting sunlight in your eyes as early as possible. Better sleep can change the game and help you really make the best use of the food that you're eating. Protein, again, is one of the biggest pillars that you can hit. You don't have to track it. Just try to eat it at every meal and get a nice big palm-sized worth of meat if you can at your big meals. And water. Remove all liquid calories from your diet. Except coffee and tea, of course. Remove all liquid calories from your diet. Sodas, juices, smoothies, that kind of thing. You'll see a world of difference if you're not already doing that. And then some things that we don't really talk about much, but you could test your micronutrients and test your minerals for deficiencies. Sometimes you have everything dialed in except you're missing just 1 or 2 key micronutrients. Testing could tell you any of this, and it could save you thousands of dollars on just blasting yourself with different supplements and tons of different variations of supplements that may not even be working for you. If you test and don't guess, you will have the answer for you. And maybe you just need a little more magnesium, or maybe you just need a little more vitamin D. This is going to be an especially important thing for those of us that are super consistent and eat pretty much the same thing every single week. There's definitely more when it comes to your diet and your nutrition and this common mistake of your diet doesn't support your training goals, but we're going to leave it right there at that. The point is that your diet might not support your training goals. So take a look at that. Number 5, you're trying to train your way to a leaner physique. You're trying to train your way to a leaner physique. You can't train your way to getting leaner. At least that's not the best or fastest way to do it. Maybe you could, but you may be doing more harm to your body than good by attempting this strategy. Example, if you decide that you want to lose weight, you have had enough. You decide you're going to do 7 workout classes a week and you're going to run every single morning for an hour. I really do love the drive and motivation. That is a great feeling. But the game plan is a plan for long-term disaster and failure. You should not try to train your way to a leaner physique, and you should not go too hard too fast at the beginning. Now, if you have 100 pounds to lose, then yeah, sure, you could probably train and see some weight loss happen pretty effectively at first, and you probably should. But it still won't be as effective as attacking a plan with your diet for weight loss. Diet and exercise can be the assist. But regardless of how much you have to lose, eventually everyone is going to reach a point where training alone just isn't enough, and they will be required to diet properly in order to achieve their body composition goals. If I were to put a number to it, I would say 75% of examples that I've seen in the past have success losing weight with just attacking their nutrition alone. 75%. And then maybe the other 24% do both training, exercise, and diet and nutrition. And literally like maybe 1% of clients, and I'm guesstimating here, but it's accurate, 1% does training alone and has success. And that is how important your diet is for your body composition transformation goals. Am I saying don't worry about exercise? Hell no, I'm the exercise guy. I love exercise, probably to a fault. It is so great for so many other things. Shaping your body, making you stronger so that you can live longer, giving you dependence and confidence, mental health, and the list goes on and on. But if you're only attacking your exercise and not addressing your diet, that is a huge mistake. And I would say that is my opinion, but at this point, it's not. It's a fact. That's going to be a mistake. So don't try to train your way to a leaner physique. Nutrition and then training is the supplement. Training is the shaper. Think of your diet as if you're sculpting this big statue, your diet is the big hammer and it gets all the big chips off, and then the training is going to be the little chisel that makes all the defined little points there on your statue. Number 6, the final thing here is you're either all in or you're all out. You're all in or you're all out. If you go all in and attempt this 100% and you want to be 100% on point 100% of the time, you will fail. I promise, you'll fail. I've had so many people say to me, like so many, I'm type A. I have to go all in or it's nothing. It's just my personality. And these are the same people that I see a year later that say, oh, I'm so sorry that I've been MIA. I really fell off the wagon. Now I'm ready to get back on it. I signed up for every class this week, or I want to train with you every day this month. No, facepalm. Come on. Look, most likely you will accomplish being all in maybe 80 to 90% of the time at best. But that other 10% of the time when you're not all in and you're not on point, you are going to be way off track, way off track. And you're going to sabotage your results. That's just human psychology. You'll take 2 steps forward and only to take 5 steps back. I see it 99.999% of the time. And I only say that because I'm just leaving that 0.001 as a way for room for error. But it's probably more accurate to say that I see it 100% of the time, which is why I always suggest aiming to be 80 to 90% on point instead. Just try to shoot for 80 to 90% on point. This is where results will compound over time. You can do this by marking on a calendar the days that you nailed it. Maybe you mark the days that you nailed it with an X, and then the days that you don't, you just leave blank. And then at the end of the month, if you've nailed 80 to 90% of your days with an X'd out day, you succeeded. Give yourself a little wiggle room here for the days when life happens. Do your best to not have 2 blank days in a row. Try not to string 2 blank days in a row. That's going to be a great strategy. And then try to get your streak of X'd out days as long as you can. And set goals to try to beat your last streak and get your best streak this time. And when you inevitably lose your streak, because you will lose your streak no matter what it is, don't beat yourself up about it. Congratulate yourself for what you did and try to do better on the next one. I promise all of you right now, all or nothing people, you are going to be far more successful if you try to go with the 80 to 90% rule instead of the all-in rule. Just try it and let me know how it goes. So now, to conclude, here's what you need to do now that you know what to avoid. Number one, have a specific plan. Your plan should be completely tailored to your specific goals. If you don't know how, this is where it is well worth it to invest in a trainer or a coach to help you get there. Save yourself the headache or take the time to educate yourself. Have a specific plan. Number two, keep it simple. KISS. It doesn't have to be complicated. We all basically know what needs to be done. Keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it, and execute like your life depends on it. Number three, train really hard. Most of us are just going through the motions when training. If you're not struggling at the end of your last sets, if you're not making those silly faces when you're lifting, if you're not challenging the muscles to send a signal for change and growth, then you know what needs to be done. Train harder, push yourself. Number four, eat for your goals. Don't do what the Instagram influencer or the diet world says you have to do. Do what needs to be done to get you to your goals in the healthiest way possible so that you can sustain this for your entire life. Eat for your goals. Number five, strive for consistency, not perfection. We've said this so many times. Most people overestimate how hard it's going to be. It's not that hard, but they underestimate how long it's going to take. It is going to take some time. Results that are worth it, that last forever, they take a long time. Start slow, start small, find something that you can do forever and do that for a long time, and then build upon that by adding on to it. Little by little, over time, a little becomes a lot. And that's it, my friends, for this bite-sized brain snack. Share the knowledge that you gain with your family and friends and hold each other accountable. If you enjoyed this content, it helps a ton if you could post on your social media stories a screenshot of this episode with one takeaway that you learned, and then make sure that you tag me and share your journey. Tag me at livinthedream_podcast or at coachdamian_SD, and let us know how this episode benefited you. Let us know what we missed. Let us know what we got wrong. Tell us how you have struggled with these mistakes or how you have used these tips to avoid these mistakes to find success. We want to know. Message us if you have any suggestions or tips that would help your Livin' the Dream team that we can discuss on future episodes. And I will be right here with you, working on making us stronger, happier, and healthier humans. Until next time, friends, keep living the dream.